It is of course time for the post-case cut balance in Duel Links, meaning we've got some changes for Speed Duel and for Rush Duel. I've had confirmation we've got both of them, so it's going to be worth a reaction. Also, we've got a welcome update for the timer. Finally, after so many years of asking, KONAMI are delivering, we've been increasing our opponent's turn, which is really, really big, so good job there, KONAMI. But let's go to the brand new balance. First of all, we're going to go for the skills first. Why not? Sure. Usually, these ones are kind of less so. We've got changes for Lyrilusk, for Dimension Grasp, for Time Thief, okay. Chivalrous Celerity, oh. Dragistar Nova, and Infinite D Live, and that is all, okay. Okay, so bigger than I expected, right? Hopefully, there's some good changes. So first of all, for Bird Humming, is going to lock you into Lyrilusks only. So I believe this does remove Kinkabyo from the deck, right? I think that's why I'm playing with it. So in that sense, cool, fine, and just removing some unintended shenanigans, sure. Dimension Grasp is now going to shuffle 8 of your banished cards rather than 8 at random. Not sure how relevant that was. I'm not sure what deck that was actually using that, but this seems like a good change. If not, does that actually say, oh, strengthening? Okay, fine. I thought they said it was a nerf, and then that'd have been weird. Time Thief Crossbat, though, going to make it so you are locked in all of your turns only. Okay, so you can Masquerade and you can Nibiru in your opponent's turn. That's pretty cool. And also, there's no downside for going first and using the effect. So, you know what? Okay, Time Thief not really been doing too much. This is a cool change. I like that. Now, onto Rush Duel. Oh my god. They are changing the skill so much. So, it is turn 2 onward. That's really big. It's got an Extract Lock, which now seems like it's mainly going to be Gaia cards. No Metarion, no Hero. Okay, sure. You've got to send a 5 or 7 normal, so you can't send a Goat. Right, you can't send that. That's good as well. You then buff up a level 5 or 7 monster on your field rather than anything higher, so you can't buff Fusion, but then you're buffing it by 300 less, which means you're not going to be able to clear monsters that easily. And also, you have to add a normal and a poly only from your graveyard once per duel, not from your deck as well. That is a really, really big nerf, and I think one we kind of wanted to happen way earlier, I think. But also, it feels a bit too much, right? In a way, like I think they could have gone down the thing of, you know what, give them a lock, sure. But the attack reduction feels a little bit too much in my opinion. But maybe it means we're getting more Gaia support down the line and they think, you know what, so in that sense it probably does make some sense. Then for Dragistar Nova is a once per duel each on the Fusion or the Dragon. Okay, so you've now got to potentially play more Fusions, making your deck a bit less consistent, but also you can only do this once. And so it hits consistency, sure. It doesn't really change the OTK impactness of the deck, which I think is the problem with Dragus in particular. I like the change, but also it doesn't feel like the right change, but we're getting more rush cards very soon, so things might naturally be a bit different. Then for the Psychic skill, is going to shuffle a card back to the deck rather than sending, meaning you've now got less Starry Start kind of stuff. You've got Ice Bear that does less, you're now not sending potentially your Prima Katana for a revive. This is a fairly big hit to this skill, but also it's one you don't really see being played that often, right? It feels a little bit too late, which is weird to say, but this just feels a bit too late. But overall, good changes for Rush Duel, right? Good change for Rush Duel. For Speed Duel, I think there's some decent stuff there. It's not like a massive, impactful ban list in terms of skills, but overall, it's pretty good. Then onto the cards, we have got Forbidden, Dark Eradicator Wall, of course, for the FTK. It's been around for a while now, for years. It is the go-to deck of people in Duel's Kingdom, which would be very funny if we're getting Duel's Kingdom potentially in early May. If that happens, that'd be hilarious. Don't think we are, but if it does, then it'd be funny at least. But also limiting one Summon of Illusions alongside the Nightingale for that new Tindangle FTK as well. These are both kind of enabled by skills, but I think that these ones make more sense. This one, I think you could have banned this one. It's a free card anyway, no one cares. This also hurts Lyrilusk, right? Because you now have a clash with this, I believe. I believe also this clash with Super Poly, so you can't now go for playing this and hope it works out in a matchup on ladder. You've no longer got that now, so that is definitely interesting. You've then got Dragus the Pelia as well going to 1. This is from 3. It now clashes with the Kaiju and the Trap, I believe, so you probably... Do you get rid of the Kaiju in the current meta? Do you get rid of the Kaiju or not? That is the big question, because this card is really, really good, so I can see things going either way, honestly. We've then got Void Ogre Dragon, so hitting the RDA end board, fine, right, you've got the Abyss, I believe, the bundle card is limit 1, so you probably play that over this, or maybe you go for the Spawn Gate because it's level 8 rather than level 9. We'll have to see. You've then got Recurrence, which I believe was at 3, going to 1. This is a really solid card in Salamangreat, right? They were hit on last ban list, they survived, they were still pretty good. This being another hit, is it going to matter? We'll have to wait and see. Shooting Gum as well for RDA, so you've got that graveyard protection, I believe, then negate. So you now definitely cut this, right? You cut this, and then you've got to choose which synchro do you want to do. Do you want to go for the Abyss or go for the Void Ogre? That's going to be a fairly cool decision to make. Then limit 2s. Okay, we've got Launch Air, and that's it. Launch Air to 2. Now, I don't know what else they've got actually that's on like the limited list, right? Believe it's nothing. Yeah, so Infernity now getting more support is really cool, you know. With the timer change, right, that's going to help them as well. So that's pretty neat. Unlimit though, this could be big, and it seems to be big given the bar. Armageddon Knight, I believe, still locks in selection box, so that's interesting. They're bringing it out before we get a reprint. Lost Wind, okay, that's one of the lesser kind of selection box cards we've had for a while now, but it's not really doing anything at the moment. We've then got Levianeer. Oh, Levianeer. Oh, that one is interesting because Levianeer kind of comes and goes in waves, right? Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's complete dog shit. At the moment, it's not doing that much, but maybe this can work to make Borrowing a bit better. Sure, cool, given that deck that didn't really get any hits at all, now just getting more support is fairly neat. Fusion Deployment, I'm not sure what played this at all, so okay, it was limit 3 on release, fine. Rapid Trigger, going from 3 to unlimited, okay, fair enough. Raging Dragon, we know we're getting a skill for this, we're getting more support, right? Getting Dissolver, getting Venom Dragon at some point, so this also just makes sense, like, just lore-wise. Wave King Caesar should not have been limited on release, right? It's done nothing, this is fine. Unicorn, again, it's been a while, doesn't do much. Solitaire, again, flip-flops, but again, at the moment, isn't been doing anything, that's cool. Diamond, since when the hell was Diamond Synthesis on the ban list? I had no idea this thing even released. We've then got Shooting Rise of Dragon, interesting. Crocosaur, okay, and oh my god, Silent Sword Slash. Finally, after what feels like a millennia of waiting for this card to come back, finally Silent Swordsman is perfectly fine in the metagame. Now, could we get more Silent Swordsman support at some point? You know, the Yugi Gold Sark stuff, that'd be cool, but that is a funny, even funnier is Spiral Battle. They've realized there was no point in putting this limited when it first came out, and so they've eased it up. That is good stuff. Crimson Fox as well, you know, kind of tied in thematically with the new Moonlight support coming in OCG, and Predator Planet. So this was limit 1, right? So you would have had the Juxtapelia, the Kaiju, plus this limit 1. You can now play this, and then you got to choose which one you play for, the Fusion or the Kaiju. That's a good compromise. I think that's a good compromise. Now, overall, Rush Duel, no changes, that was expected. Overall, I think, you know, looking from an outside perspective in, this seems to be kind of decent. Now, the one thing I think there's no real hits on is Hero. Now, are they a top tier deck? No, not really, but ladder-wise, in terms of how fun the game is, they're still kind of everywhere, so I would have kind of hoped for potentially a skill change, right, to make that skill a little bit less bonkers, but you know what, it's fine. I'm happy with these, the rush changes in particular, making me very happy, but that's not all. We have got some